I became fluent in Japanese from watching anime. Okay, so maybe that's not 100% true, but I genuinely feel like watching anime helped improve my Japanese so much, and it really helped me get to where I am today. And I get a lot of questions from you guys asking me how I learn Japanese and stuff, so today I thought I'd talk about how anime helped me on my Japanese learning journey and how it can help you guys too. So before I get into how you can use anime to learn Japanese, I thought I'd give you guys just like a brief rundown of my Japanese learning background, just to like give you guys some context. So I've probably been learning Japanese since I was about 14, I'd say. And the reason I actually started learning was because I switched from watching anime in dub to sub, and I was just like, this is such a cool language, I really need to learn this. So I started going to weekly Japanese classes, but to be honest, it didn't really help that much. But I got to learn some like basic grammar structures and like basic vocabulary and stuff, so it was good for that, but I definitely couldn't hold a conversation in Japanese. Having said that though, I think watching anime was like already helping me at that point, because I'd already gotten quite used to like the sounds of the language and like basic words and stuff just from watching anime. So it definitely helped my like pronunciation and understanding in the class, I think. Then after doing those classes for a few years, I actually started a Japanese course at university when I was 18, and I did that for a year before coming to study abroad in Japan and then eventually transferring to Japanese university here. And even though I only did that course for a year, it was like super intense. So we basically covered like all basic grammar structures and vocabulary that you need for like daily conversation. And I actually tried to look for the textbooks we used in that class like before filming this video, but I couldn't find them. But I remember the name of them, so I'll try to like put a picture of them here. But they were the Minna no Nihongo textbooks that I used. And yeah, I've never actually used any other textbooks, but I think they were quite good. So if you're looking for some good Japanese textbooks, I definitely recommend them. Anyway, so that's a bit about my like Japanese learning background, and now I've been living in Japan for about 7 years, so I basically like use the language on a daily basis now. But the reason I wanted to include that was to say that you're probably not going to be able to learn Japanese just by watching anime alone. I know it's hard, guys, but you're definitely going to have to do some like traditional studying just to pick up like the basic grammar structures and vocabulary before watching anime starts to become helpful. Okay, so now on to how watching anime can actually help you learn Japanese. The first thing I'd say is make sure you're watching anime in subs and not dub. It sounds kind of obvious, but I was actually shocked to know that like a lot of people are still watching anime in dub even though they're trying to learn Japanese. So yeah, if you're not already, definitely switch to subtitles. To be honest, this isn't really going to be that helpful in learning the language, but like I just mentioned, I really think that it helped improve my like pronunciation and understanding, because you're constantly hearing the language, like especially if you watch anime a lot. And the most helpful thing with any language is just to become as immersed as possible. So I definitely think it will help with those points. Okay, so you've switched to watching anime in subs, and let's say you've learned some like basic grammar structures and vocabulary. The one thing that helped me the most at this stage was to watch anime in Japanese with Japanese subtitles. Now I'm gonna be honest, at first this is really hard. I literally barely understood like anything when I first did this, but I feel like having the Japanese subtitles there helps you understand the words that you do know, and it helps them like stick in your brain more, I feel like. Also, you're hearing them in the context that they're actually used in daily conversation, so it really helped me remember like the grammar structures and like basic words and stuff. And also, I think this helped my listening comprehension like crazy amounts. Like I was actually doing this while I was doing my Japanese course, and I got like 100% on all my listening exams, and I swear it was because of this. Because you actually want to watch the anime and understand like what's happening in the story, so it gives you kind of like motivation to really try and understand what the characters are saying. Now, if this still feels too difficult for you, there's actually a free application called Language Reactor that lets you watch anything on Netflix in 2 different subtitle languages. So you can see like the Japanese subtitles and the English subtitles at the same time, and I'm pretty sure like the whole script comes up at the side, so you can like go back and see any words or like phrases you didn't understand. And I actually learned about this fairly recently, and I don't know if it was around like while I was learning Japanese, but I really wish it was, because I feel like it would have helped me so much. You could probably put this on and just try to look at the Japanese subtitles, and then if you really didn't understand it, you could like look at the English subs and maybe like make a note of the parts you didn't understand, like the English and stuff. And that leads me on to the next thing I used to do, which is to write down every single word or phrase that I didn't understand into a notebook, then search the meaning and write down the meaning next to it. So sadly, this kind of takes the fun out of watching the anime, but yeah, I'd literally just sit there with my notebook open and write down everything I didn't understand. Then afterwards I'd go over like every single word I'd written down and just like try to remember them. I personally think this actually helped me learn vocab and like phrases more than the textbooks did, because I'm someone who has like terrible memory. Like I can literally never remember vocab for the life of me. And I think I'm someone that needs to know like what context the word is used in to be able to like remember it. Like I guess my way of learning is to just kind of like copy whatever I hear, but that's basically just language, isn't it? Also, something that I never realized before learning Japanese was that even though like in the textbook the English meaning is written next to the word, that word might not be used in Japanese in the same way that it is in English. And also there's loads of things that Japanese people say that we just wouldn't say in English, or we'd probably say it in a different way. So it also helps you like understand those kind of phrases and words too. However, I would say that this is probably where you need to start being careful with what anime you're using to study. Like for example, I don't even know what's happening half the time in Jujutsu Kaisen, even when I'm watching it in like English subs with all the like domain expansions and stuff like that. So you're probably not going to learn much like daily Japanese from anime like that. Same with probably like Demon Slayer or Naruto too. Like you definitely don't want to be adding a datebayo to the end of your sentences. I just gave myself secondhand embarrassment. But yeah, maybe more like real life anime I'd say would be better. So probably avoid anime where the characters use like any sort of power, and focus more on like high school animes or sport animes are good too. So for example, like Haikyuu or Free or My Lie in April is a good one too actually. Also My Dress Up Darling was really easy to understand for me. And maybe the anime Erase too, because I think they're mostly kids in that one, so it's quite like simple Japanese. Like anything that revolves around like daily life and probably school too, because then you're going to see exactly how like native Japanese school kids talk, and it's not going to be that hard for you to understand either. Also, if you're like a proper beginner, maybe some Japanese anime that's aimed at kids could also be quite useful for you. So stuff like Doraemon or Detective Conan too. And then eventually you're going to want to get to the point where you can turn off the Japanese subtitles and really just lock in and try to understand as much of the Japanese as you can. For me personally, I've been living here 7 years like I said, and I still struggle with this to be honest. Especially with anime like Jujutsu Kaisen and stuff like that. But honestly, turning off the Japanese subtitles and just like trying to watch the anime in Japanese really like skyrocketed my Japanese, I'd say. Especially again with things like listening comprehension and stuff like that. But also from doing this, you just kind of become able to say things in Japanese that you couldn't say before. Like it's really weird, and I don't know how our brain does it, but you'll just start to be able to say things perfectly in the way you wanted to say them. And you'll probably even surprise yourself, because that's what happened to me. And I swear that was just from like watching anime in Japanese and really like immersing myself in the language. I really think it stays in your brain longer when you're like picking up language like that. And something else you can do at this stage is shadowing. So you're gonna want to be alone when you do this, because it's kind of embarrassing to do. But what you do is you listen to a section of the anime and try to repeat it in the exact same way you heard it. It's really hard at first, so you're gonna want to go line by line probably. So you listen to a line that the character said, pause it and try to say it in the exact same way that they said it as best you can. And trust me, this is like so hard, but it's gonna help your like pronunciation, intonation, and just like overall speaking ability, I'd say. Again though, probably use like a high school anime or something where the story's quite simple for this. And also make sure like none of the characters have like accents or anything, because you don't want to suddenly be picking up like Kansai Ben or something like that. And you can also tailor this to like whatever you're struggling with. So if you want to improve your speaking, I definitely say to try out shadowing. But if you want to improve like your listening comprehension or even like writing, I suppose, you could do dictation, which is where you like listen to a section of the anime and try to write it down word for word what you heard. But either way, definitely make sure you do this without the Japanese subtitles, because it's really gonna like test your understanding and help the like words and phrases really stick in your brain. So yeah, that's basically all the ways I used anime to learn Japanese, and I genuinely think it was the one thing that helped me so much. So if you're currently learning Japanese and you're in one of those phases where you're like, why am I not improving? Definitely try out some of these techniques and I promise you'll feel a difference. But yeah, I hope that was like helpful and interesting for you guys, and I hope I answered some of your questions about my like Japanese learning journey. And I'm actually thinking about filming a Q&A video soon, so you guys can like get to know me a bit better. So leave any questions you have for me in the comments, and it can be about anything, by the way, like not just Japanese, just ask me anything you want. And as always, thank you so much for watching this video. I'd be super grateful if you could leave me a like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys!